Welcome to this month's video tip on why you need to answer calls promptly in your veterinary hospital. This is Wendy Myers with Communication Solutions for Veterinarians in Denver, Colorado, and we help practice teams with communication skills, compliance, and client service training. We have monthly CE credit webinars, and you can get the upcoming events on our website at csvets.com. We're also one of the largest phone skills training providers in the veterinary profession, having trained more than 5,000 hospital teams in both the U.S. and in Canada. I've written 5 books and produced many training videos, and you can get information about those on our website. Watch for ongoing tips in my monthly column in Veterinary Practice News magazine. So what do callers expect when they phone a business? I want to share with you some statistics from the service industry, and they find that typically the expectation of a consumer is that you answer the phone very promptly. In fact, the target in the service industry is to answer 80% of calls within 20 seconds to 90% of calls within just 10 seconds. Now, in the service industry, the standard is that if there is a busy signal or the phone rings more than 8 times, it's actually considered a call failure, and the caller is very likely to hang up and then choose another business provider. When you're slow to answer the phone, not only could that communicate to the caller that you're perhaps closed or that you simply don't care. Now, in a veterinary hospital, answering promptly is even more critical than in the service industry. And I will tell you that in veterinary medicine, we operate not only in the healthcare industry, but also in the service industry, because people do choose whether to bring their pets to your veterinary clinic. Now, why is it important to answer the phone very quickly? Well, in a veterinary practice setting, a pet owner may be calling because she's experiencing a medical emergency with her pet. Maybe her cat is having trouble breathing, or her dog's just been hit by a car and she's calling in a panic because she's quickly trying to get to your hospital, but she may need instructions over the phone on how to apply pressure to that wound and then get quickly to your clinic. Sometimes those extra seconds of prompt service could help save that pet's life. At Communication Solutions for Veterinarians, we recommended a standard of service that all telephone calls get answered within 3 rings at your veterinary clinic. Now, answering on the very first ring is 5-star service. So how can you achieve that? Let me give you just 3 quick tips on how you can make sure that we're answering calls promptly in a veterinary hospital. I want you to make sure that you cross-train your entire veterinary team, because there are certain times of day, typically early morning, early evening, and even sometimes during lunch breaks, where your hospital experiences very high call volume. And you may need to ask managers, technicians, or some of your veterinary assistants to step in, even if it's just for a few minutes, to help manage that high volume of calls. You want to make sure that everybody gets prompt service, because you don't want to risk either losing a new client who's calling for information about your services and fees, or disappointing an existing client. So what I like to do is a technique to make sure that the receptionist can quickly holler for help is actually install a wireless doorbell at the front desk. And this is kind of your emergency call for help button. When the front desk cannot keep up with the volume of calls at the desk, they simply ring that doorbell. The chime is located in the treatment area, and that then alerts the technicians and assistants that someone needs to come up just for a few minutes to help manage that tsunami of telephone calls. Because having that extra set of hands, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes, is going to have your clients not only experience prompt service over the telephone, but it's going to provide some temporary relief to the front desk team. Now, the second strategy is to use headsets. And this is important because studies actually show that using a headset can improve productivity by 43%. The American Physical Therapy Association and many doctors and chiropractors actually recommend that you do use a headset if you use the telephone a lot for business, because a headset, if you're going to use that, allows you to be hands-free and have proper posture. If you are cradling a phone on your shoulder, you're going to experience back pain, neck pain, and fatigue over the course of a typical 8-hour workday. Now, let me show you an example of how using headsets can increase productivity in a veterinary hospital. So let's say that your reception team all wears headsets, and you can save about a minute per scheduling phone call. And typically a scheduling phone call will take about 3 to 5 minutes. And let's say that you book 15 exams today in just your regular handling of telephone calls from clients. If you shave a minute off every one of those phone calls, you've now saved 15 minutes in productivity. That now gives you an extra 15 minutes to do some of those important follow-up tasks, such as calling a client that has an overdue patient to get them to schedule an appointment and come back in for care. Not only is this being a good patient advocate, but can it generate immediate revenue for the clinic. And then the third strategy is to provide ongoing phone training for your entire team. You need to continually polish both telephone and customer service skills. And there are a lot of resources that your team can use. It can be everything from webinars on telephone training, and you can get information on ours at csvets.com. There's also in-clinic lunch and learns that you could do, perhaps talk with one of your pharmaceutical partners or a pet food company and see if they have some resources they can share. Attend some of the professional conferences where there's oftentimes programs dedicated just to the front desk team. Read articles, perhaps my column in Veterinary Practice News, because I always write on a telephone or customer service tip. And then also try recording the calls to your practice, and going in and listening helps you hear tone of voice and personality and friendliness, and were we efficient with our call time. Now, two of the resources that we have at Communication Solutions for Veterinarians is one of those is our Phone Skills Coach program, and this is a year-long program, so we work with your entire team for the course of a year. And what our goal is to help you really deliver 5-star phone experiences every single telephone call. You get 4 live webinars, which we record, and you do get unlimited playback of those recorded webinars, so they're private webinars just for your hospital. We then, throughout the year, do 20 recorded calls to the practice, and each quarter then sends you the recorded calls, the scorecards, and then you also have a quarterly conference call with one of our professional trainers. And this can really help you take training plus monitoring to make sure that you're implementing those successful techniques. The second program that we have is our Callers into New Clients course. And this includes a 1-hour recorded webinar that's for CE credit on how to convert price shoppers into new clients. After you've completed that training, we then do 4 recorded calls to your employees, score those calls, and then send those to you, and you'll have a conference call with one of our professional trainers to discuss the results. And this can really help you monitor what is the service experience at the front desk, because I find that oftentimes doctors and managers are not physically at the desk throughout the day and really can't effectively critique and coach their employees. So this is 2 different services that we can offer for you. You can get information about all of our training programs, everything from telephone training to webinars, at csvets.com, and make sure that you check back on our YouTube channel, because we do produce a new training video tip each month, and then make sure you follow us on Facebook as well. We hope you found these tips today helpful on how to promptly answer your phone, and remember, the next time that phone rings, it's your opportunity to help another pet.